Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Midnight Mentor. I'm your host, Justin Chamness, and I'm very excited to be here tonight in more ways than one. I am very happy to be here tonight. And tonight we are really just trying to do what we do every time we do a Midnight Mentor session, and that is bring you some real estate education and make real estate, creative real estate especially, more fun for you, okay? So we're going to smoke a cigar tonight, and we're going to talk a little bit about real estate. We're going to talk a little bit about other things too. We're just going to hang out and have a good time, usually for about an hour. So thanks for joining in. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for watching. You know, it wouldn't be worth me doing any of this if you didn't watch. So thanks for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And if you have, God bless you and thank you for that. But it really does help encourage me a little, and it also helps get the videos out there and helps, pass the word, spread the word, that we are doing the Midnight Mentor Cigar Lounge. All right. So are you guys ready for tonight? I hope you certainly are. I am very excited about it. Tonight, I am planning on smoking a Oliva cigar. Oliva. I have not smoked one of these before, so we'll see how great they are. And first of all, before we do that, though, I probably need to say thank you to everybody that has been praying for me this last week. I have made a lot of progress this last week. I've had some health issues recently that have popped up, and they have prescribed me with some pretty not prescribe me, but what do they call it? Diagnose me with some pretty not happy stuff. And so I'm on a super strict, nasty diet. It's not horrible, but it's not what I want to eat. And so actually I've lost a bunch of weight because of it. But last Saturday I was having a hard time breathing. I thought I was going to go to heaven. Right there on the spot. I thought I was on my way, and it's gotten a lot better since then. I'm still not out of the woods by any means. I've got a long way to go, most likely, if things progress as they have, which I get a little bit stronger every day. So God bless you, and thank you for praying for me. I'm really impressed that I requested prayer on Facebook, and there was dozens and dozens and dozens of people who actually chimed in and said they were praying for me and sent me their well wishes and all of that. And I am super grateful for that. I love you and I appreciate you. And I didn't know so many people really cared about me, it seems. And so thank you for thinking of me and praying for me too, because it really, truly is making a difference. There is something very powerful about prayer. I think we're probably the only creature that there is that actually does have the ability to pray. And so that's something I think is very powerful and unique to humans. And I'm very glad that you're doing it for me. So it's making a difference. But tonight, I'm going to puff lightly, but I'm going to light up this cigar, and we're going to do a little cigar talk. But then I'm also, I want to let you know who won the Alex Hormozi book. I no longer have it. I don't know if you remember, if you watched the last Midnight Mentor session, I was giving away an Alex Hormozi book, the $100 Million Leads book. It's a very nice book, very awesome book, actually. And I gave that away to someone special that watches. And so I'll let you know who that was tonight too. But also going to do a little entertainment time. We're going to take a look at some real estate that it's really entertaining, in fact. And we're also going to talk about leads. And we're going to talk about the process of getting leads and what it takes. I've got a new thing coming out that's really special, and it's going to save you money. So if you want to hop on that train of saving money and getting leads, you totally can. And then we're also going to just kind of get into a more specific real estate training tonight. I'm thinking about playing a live seller call that I've had recently. I'm not sure if the audio comes through, though, frankly, because I've not done that on this particular broadcast software before. So not sure if that'll work or not. So I'll make you a deal. If you want to hear a live seller call, all you got to do is DM me or message me. And my phone number is 816-875-6961. I should write that down somewhere and show it to you. 816-875-6961. Okay, so I'll send you a live seller call. That'll be a great example for, what it's like to actually be on the phone with a homeowner lead, talking about doing creative real estate or lease purchase or any of the other strategies. Frankly, it's all about the same. I know it doesn't seem like it's all about the same, but trust me, it's all about the same. So you got to have a plan of attack when you get on the phone. It's not even an attack, man. I'm so laid back and chill on the phone. It's crazy when I'm on the phone with students and other people, the sellers, you know, the students almost always say, wow, you know, you're just so good. You're so relaxed. You know, you just got, you know what to do, you know what to say. Yeah. You know, well, I've been doing it a long time and I've got a formula. I've got a recipe. Okay. So this is something that I've been doing. You know, if you've been baking cookies for 20 years, you don't even need to look at the back of the box anymore. You already know how to do it. So, you know, that's the difference. So, you know, if you want a live seller call, I'll send one to you, 816-875-6961. And then I've also got like a special offer for folks tonight to not only am I interested in giving away the book that I've been giving away recently, which is, and I'll show you right now, this right here. If you tell me your name and you ask for a free copy of this, I'll send you a digital copy of my Getting Started with Little to No Money. All right. And this is marketing stuff here. This is kind of a getting leads strategy that I started back in 2014 when I had no money and I got laid off of my job. Okay, I lied. I got fired from my job. So this is what I did back in 2014 and it still works today. In fact, I still do these same things today. Now, the first 46 pages or so is what I did in 2014. And after page 46 through page 60 something, it's things that I'm doing now. So I've expanded. So I still do everything from page 1 all the way to the back of the book. But you know, you got to start somewhere. So, you know, you might want to start with some of the free stuff, or maybe you want to start with some of the stuff that's in the back of the book too. You know, it just depends on where you are. But if you want a copy of this book, I'll be more than happy to send it to you. Just text me also at 816-875-6961. Okay. And let me throw that back up on the screen. And there it is at the bottom there in the blue, not the cigar stuff. Let me drop the cigar stuff for a minute. It is tonight's free offer. Get my $0 marketing book and then the phone number. Text me your name. Okay. Text me your name and I'll send that book to you. You can do that tonight. You can do that whenever you're watching this video. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start lighting up this cigar for tonight. Okay. So let me put that back up on the screen about the cigars. This is an Oliva. I have not really smoked an Oliva before that I'm aware of. I might have sometime and forgot. So I'm going to take it out of the wrapper. It comes in a nice little plastic wrapper. Helps keep things fresh. And Oliva, this I heard it takes about an hour to smoke one of these. I don't know. That it seems like every cigar I do smoke takes about an hour. But this is a very nice Nicaraguan cigar. So, you know, like I said, I like smoking cigars because they kind of take you on a journey around the world. But now that I have it, unwrapped, I'm just going to do what's called a cold draw. And I'm going to can't do a cold draw because I haven't punctured the end yet. See, it's all closed up, This is a torpedo, so don't let it hit your submarine. All right, so I'm going to use one of these fancy V-cut trimmers here, and I'm going to trim the end. All right, so hold on and let me. I've not used this particular trimmer before, so let me go ahead and try to trim this. You stick it in the hole there. You don't put your finger in there. You cut the end of your finger off. Okay, and it doesn't really let you screw up. It kind of guides you. There's a block in there to keep you from going too deep. All right, great. So look, now there's a little smiley face cut in there. All right. Actually, you know what? I really like that because now I'm thinking, hey, I like the smiley face clipper. I think that's kind of cool. So now I'm going to do a cold draw and just see what I think. Oh, very, very nice. Nicaraguan cigar. Says fermented Jalapa Valley Ligero. I don't know what that means. Someone in the comments tell me, please. Seed grown Cuban wrapper. And I'm not talking about Tupac. See, I don't think I think he went to Cuba, everybody. I could be wrong. But I like the way it tastes on a cold draw. All right, so let's go ahead and light this up. I want to torch this. I think that's what the aficionados, the cigar people, call it. And just at a 45-degree angle, I'm going to torch the end, which just heats it up. And yes, I'm using a regular Bic lighter tonight. I have been using a torch lighter, one of those ones you can use in a windstorm. But this here is just a Bic lighter. I believe I have it lit all the way around. We'll keep that lighter handy just in case I don't. Nice, good first impression. You know, a first impression is very important, not just with cigars, but a first impression is very important. And so you got to practice that. You know, what I've noticed is that a lot of people nowadays lack interpersonal skills. And that doesn't just go for the young folks. Okay. I know us older guys, we like to talk down about the young kids like, oh, well, they don't know, you know, they don't know how to be sociable. They don't know how to talk to people. Well, you know what? A lot of us older guys don't know how to talk to people either. And I'm going to tell you, that's really the difference between being successful as a solopreneur in real estate versus being a failure. Okay. If you're afraid to talk to people, it's because you don't know, you don't have confidence. You don't know what you're going to say. You don't have a formula. You don't have in other words, you don't have a hook to hang your hat on. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Very nice. I would call this a medium type cigar. I'm not a professional cigar person by any means. I only smoke one when I'm with you. Isn't that special? Aww. I only smoke a cigar when I'm with you. How sweet. Isn't that adorable? Can you say the same? All right. You know, I like cigars again because you don't inhale. It's kind of like taking a trip around the world. Each cigar that we've had on each episode of the Midnight Mentor Cigar Lounge, we've had different parts of the world. We've had what was the first one? Argentinian, I think, was the first one, with some Cuban and then Honduran, I think, and then this one's Nicaraguan, and so kind of interesting. I've had a really interesting week, you know, not with just all the health scares and all of that stuff, but you know, I still work this week. You know, the Lord blessed me. I was able to do that really. And, you know, I'm kind of addicted to it. Plus, you know, it's just kind of a step of faith. You know, if you want to get better, act better, you know. And man, isn't that a powerful thought, though, really? And not just like if you don't feel good, but like in life in general. If you want to get better, then act better. And so, you know, I made some seller calls and I've had some coaching client calls and stuff like that. And I met some good people and I pitched some lease options and I pitched an owner finance deal once. And I even one time talked about it doing a straight option with someone. And if you're curious about how I know how to do all that, well, I studied it and in a lot of different places. You know, I started out with Carlton Sheets, but eventually what I did was I created myself a cheat sheet right here. And you might have seen this cheat sheet before. It's got a lot of great information on it. And so I keep it handy. And so if I ever get stumped on the phone and I don't know what to say, I always just look at my cheat sheet and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I do. And so, you know, I'm human just like everybody else. And I got other things on my mind, you know. And so A cheat sheet's really helpful, but I just finished a course. Well, it's not a course, but I did a 3-day challenge 2 weeks ago with a group of students that are interested in learning how to be transaction engineers. And so we talked about many of these different strategies and the questions that you talk to the homeowner that you use when you're talking to the homeowner, and how really it's all basically the same except for one question or a few questions that you want to memorize. But each question will lead you down a certain creative strategy path. And so if you memorize 5-6 questions, you just pretty much got it mastered. And I'm here to tell you, it's really truly that simple. They try to shroud it in mystery. And when I say they, I mean the gurus. And you know what? I guess I'm a guru because according to Zach Gann, if you're selling a course of some kind, you're a guru. Well, I'm probably the smallest guru there is, but I definitely have a course for sale. And right now you can actually buy that 3-day challenge. I turned it into a little course, and it's actually the best work I believe I've ever done, especially the phone training aspect of it. So you can pick that up if you want for $99 over at realestatewholesalersclub.com. I do like this Oliva cigar, and very tasty. I would definitely smoke one of these again. Way better than that Black Abyss cigar that I had. But definitely not as enjoyable as the one I had last time, which was the Monte Cristo. I don't know how you say it, but I love it. It's one of those things. So definitely interesting. Here's another interesting thing, that I found, and I want to share this with you because I think you'll find it interesting too. And this is a real estate related matter. Of course, it's a bit on the expensive side, but that's okay. Take a look at this headline here. I'm going to put it on the screen. The Chicago mansion from Home Alone hits the market for $5.25 million. Isn't that funny? Man, wouldn't you love to buy that house? The Chicago mansion from the Home Alone movie. Now, I don't know what the neighborhood's like or the surrounding neighborhoods there in Chicago where that Home Alone house is. I'm assuming that it's probably still pretty nice, even though we do hear a lot of dark news coming out of the Chicago area, crime and so on and so forth. I don't know how much of that is true. Maybe a lot of it, maybe none of it. I'm not in Chicago. I did talk to someone from Chicago this week, and he seemed pretty safe sitting at Starbucks. So I guess everything's okay there at Starbucks. But the Chicago mansion from Home Alone. Do you guys remember the movie? How incredible of a movie was that? What a classic! If you hang around here at my house for very long, we'll watch that movie together. And I can tell you, I can promise you that, because my wife and we watch it every Christmas season, but we also watch it several times before Christmas, and we watch it sometimes throughout the year as well. So I don't know. It's not like once a month, but we watch this movie quite a bit. There's also a few other movies that we watch quite a bit, like Ghostbusters, the first one. But Home Alone is probably the one we watch the most of. And this is what it looks like. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but what I wonder is, what the heck did this guy do for work? You know what I mean? Did you ever wonder that? Like, he's got all this stuff. I don't know if they ever say in the movie, was he making, non-nutritive cereal varnish like Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation? What was he doing in the 1980s, or I guess this is 1990 Christmas movie? So yeah, the 80s and the very beginning of the 90s. What was this guy doing for work that he had this house? And what was it worth back then in the 1990s? If you have an idea, why don't you put that in the chat? Because I'm kind of curious as to your opinion of the Home Alone movie house. It's on the market right now for $5.25 million. I saw this article about a week ago, so it might not be on the market anymore. Someone might have come by and made a big offer, but look at that monster house. Isn't that a beautiful home? I think the landscaper bill is more than what my utility bill is. Probably every month where I live, like probably by a long shot. Look at the inside of this bad boy. See, this is what the kitchen looks like. Now, I don't know if you remember what it looked like in the movie, but this is evidently what it looks like today. It was upgraded to include double islands. That's pretty nice. It looks pretty. I like it. Now look at the staircase. Isn't that an awesome staircase? Do you remember the paint cans flying down and smashing Joe Pesci and his sidekick right in the face? Yeah. Stepping on what was it? Micro. What were they called? Micro cars. I can't think of the name. The miniatures and what was that? Or I think that's what it was, or maybe marbles. I don't know. But slipping down here at the bottom. Do you remember the cop met him? Do you remember the pizza guy came up and he had a big arm full, a stack of pizzas? Oh, doesn't that sound good? I told you I'm on a very, very strict diet because of this health stuff I've been going through. But, those pizzas sound delicious right now. But do you remember the whole stack of pizzas? And there must have been a dozen or more. I would guess maybe 15, 20 pizzas. I don't know. I haven't counted them. Next time I watch this movie, I'm going to try to remember to count how many pizzas the pizza boy brings in at the beginning of the movie. And do you remember he said, somebody owes me $115 or something like that? Man, you get out of here, right? $115 wouldn't buy you 5 pizzas now, right? So you gotta appreciate the early 1990s. But anyway, what a cool staircase. Oh, wow. Did not know until I saw this article, but look at this gym. It's got a gym, and I don't mean like a weightlifting gym. This is a basketball court. So you got a basketball court down at the end here. We got a basketball court on the side. You can play half court ball. It looks like maybe even full court. There might be, there's a rim over here on the other end. So you can play full court. You can play half court. How cool is that? Not only that, but they've got the big, wall stick 'em ups there with the football players. And I don't know why they would have football players when they've got a basketball court, but wouldn't it be cool if they were, basketball players, like maybe some of your favorites? If you've got a favorite basketball player that's a classic from the old era, it doesn't have to be the early 1990s, but when I think of the early 1990s, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like that was back in the days of Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Spud Webb. Does anybody remember Spud Webb? The little guy, he could dunk like nobody else for a little guy. Pretty incredible guy. So yeah, wouldn't that be cool? That's who I would want up there. Some of my basketball legends, Michael Jordan, especially, number 23. It's really cool. But look, it's got a movie theater in it also. Hey, you know what? All of this can be yours for only $5.25 million. Yeah, you might be able to talk them down a little bit, but I doubt you can talk them down that much. This house, it says right here, was originally built in 1921, 9,126 square feet. Sits on just over a half an acre of land. It's a short walk from the home to the shores of Lake Michigan. Wow, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So here's what one of the 6 bathrooms looks like. If you, that reminds me of a Lil Wayne. I said Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne song called Steady Mobbin'. Anybody remember Steady Mobbin'? Go ahead and put that in the chat. I want you to know that Steady Mobbin' by Lil Wayne is my wife and I. It's one of our love songs that we fell in love to back when we got together in 2012. We be steady mobbin'. So yes, and we're still steady mobbing to this day. And I love my wife so much. She's been here for me so many different times. But there's a line in that song, Steady Mobbin', that talks about having 10 bathrooms and he can all day. Well, here in this $5.25 million home, you have 6 bathrooms. I'm sure you can all day in there. And if you wonder what means, just listen to Steady Mobbin' and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. So not only is this just a gorgeous house, but it's way more gorgeous than it was before. This is a beautiful, beautiful home. This looks like some kind of a outdoor patio type area with a fireplace, and it looks like it's screened in or glassed in, or plexiglassed in. And here is one of the 5 bedrooms. Okay, it's hard to believe that it's only 5 bedrooms, but they're taking up a lot of space with a gymnasium and a movie theater and a screened-in patio porch. So 5 bedrooms spread throughout the house. I could crash there just fine. I don't know about you, but I could take a sweet, sweet nap there. I could curl up with the missus right there and do some steady mobbing. All right, so that's kind of an interesting tale. I hope you enjoyed that. The Home Alone house. Does anybody have $5.25 million? Hey, wouldn't it be cool? I was thinking about this. Wouldn't it be cool if we all pitched in together and we bought this $5.25 million Home Alone house and we turned it into an Airbnb? Now, I don't know what the rules are over there in Chicago about Airbnbs. They probably got some kind of rule against it, but who knows? Wouldn't that be an incredible, you could probably charge a lot of money to have folks stay in that Airbnb. Maybe you could even split it up and you could have people stay in different rooms on the same night, and it would still be pretty incredible, or rent the whole house for an even more extravagant amount of money. I think that's probably what I would want to do is, hey, let's get $25,000 a night, or let's get 20,000 or whatever. I don't know what the going rate would be, but isn't that an interesting thought? Anybody got, I tell you what, anybody, let's talk shop here. It's $5.25 million. We're going to make an offer on the Home Alone house. Does anybody have $49,000? I'll pitch in the rest, and I'm just teasing. That's not a very good deal, and we're not splitting it very equally there. But hey, it was my idea. No, I'm just playing with you. I don't know if that's a good idea at all, but after all, $5.25 million is a lot of money. But that is the Home Alone house. There's a lot of houses that kind of come to my mind when I'm thinking about houses in classic movies. And another one is the house in Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. And that guy there, he worked as some kind of a marketing, Steve Martin, the character, he played some kind of marketing wizard. I don't know. He drew up ads. He was like a Mad Men type character, from Madison Avenue, the whole New York City advertisement industry. So anyway, just a thought. Anybody got $5.25 million you want to drop on the Home Alone house? Let's talk about some other things too. Let's get into who won the Alex Hormozi book. The Alex Hormozi book, the $100 million leads, I was giving away last week because we were doing trivia a little bit, and I gave the book to a fella named Kevin Hicks. He's a regular watcher and contributor on the chat. Very thankful for Kevin, and I gave him that book because he had the best answer on one of our trivia questions, where we were talking about having a clouded title and the person could not be located. They couldn't be found. The person who owned the person that clouded the title to a house that I was trying to wholesale. And so he suggested in the chat that we do what is called a quiet title process. So I don't know if any of you out there are familiar with quiet title, but it's something you should be familiar with at least. Here it is on Google. What it is an action to quiet title may be used where there are competing or adverse claims of ownership, gaps in the chain of title, or where a party seeks the determination of priority of competing liens or encumbrances. So if you go back and you watch last Midnight Mentor Cigar Lounge, we brought a couple scenarios where you might have thought of this. One in particular where you might have thought of this for sure, where there was a lien holder that was no longer valid, no longer in business, and they couldn't be located and blah, blah, and all this. So Kevin suggested that we call the title company or your closing attorney and ask them if it was appropriate to do a quiet title process So look what it says here. It says the court must then determine the better title as between the named parties to the proceeding. Now, I will share with you my experience. I don't know how it is in every state and in every jurisdiction, but quiet title, from my understanding, is they run ads in certain locations and they try to hunt down the people that have gone ghost on that own the liens or the clouds. And when they can't find them and they advertise, and does anybody have a claim to this property deed or to this property? After a certain period of time, they're able to free the deed from those clouds. Okay. So there is a literal legal process. That's why you cannot do this by yourself. It has to be done by a real estate title company or closing attorney, somebody with the know-how of the local jurisdiction and where to do and how to do. But quiet title is something that does happen quite frequently in real estate. I don't know that it happens every single day. It certainly doesn't happen every single day in my life. I've seen it happen maybe twice in my career, and I've been doing real estate things since my first deal was in 2005. I started studying in 2001. That tells you something. I was a slow learner for about 4 years. But in 2005 till now, so that's a long time. That's about 19 years. I've seen it maybe twice. I know other investors have seen it. Other investors have actually called the title company and had them run it and do it too. So they're more familiar with it. In the case that I was talking about last week, last Midnight Mentor session, where there was a lien holder that did not, he was defunct. He was out of business. He couldn't be located. The title company, before trying to do quiet title, they scoured heaven and earth, and they actually did locate the gentleman. Okay. And we were able to negotiate some kind of payoff at closing for the guy. It wasn't a full payoff, but it was, I think, a couple $1,000s that was put in his pocket. And so sometimes quiet title can be avoided. And that's exactly what the title company or the closing attorney will want to do, if at all possible, because the quiet title process will take at least, I think, 45 to 90 days. Okay, don't get mad at me, because it's not a quick solution. It's just a solution when all else fails. Okay, so that's the story there. Congratulations, Kevin Hicks. You got the $100 million leads book. I'm glad you did. Okay, so let's talk about real estate tonight a little more in detail. And I want to share screens with you again here, but the process of getting deals is not as complicated as it seems. We're all smart people. We were all educated in the United States. Well, most of us probably were educated in the United States public school system. And so what that means is that we're about as sharp as a attack. Okay. We're as sharp as attack. And so we like to overcomplicate things. Okay. This here is the process. You guys have seen me share this, and you might even be sick of seeing me share this, but I don't care. I want to drill it right down your eye holes until it gets into your brain and you stop ruining and self-sabotaging yourself. Oh my goodness, this is a 5-step dance. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you will do it until you're successful, because this is how you get property deals. First of all, step number 1, you generate lots of great motivated seller leads. How do you do that? Well, you know what? Frankly, nowadays, a lot of it is automated. That's right. We live in a great time. Back when I got started, you know what you had to do? You had to go get lists from somewhere, and you had to start calling them, or you had to start door knocking. You had to drive for dollars and start sending yellow letters. That was possible when I got started back in the early 2000s. But now you can really automate a lot of these things. There's great apps out there that do not only the list, but they do mailers like PropStream. You can learn more about that at realestatewholesalerclub.com. There's other great apps like driving for dollar apps like Deal Machine app. Okay. I don't sell that, but you can find out more about it by just Googling Deal Machine app, and it's pretty impressive, man. You drive up to a house, you take a photo of it, you click send them a postcard. It sends them a postcard with the picture you took. Hey, is this your house? I'd love to make an offer on it. It says something to that effect. So a lot of this is automated and easy and simple, and you can be professional and super sharp. You can be sharper than a tack, by the way. Now, step number 2. So step number 1, we are just going to, I wish I could just reach into your head and totally just undo all of the gobbledygook, because you tell yourself all this baloney about, oh, I can't find deals. No one wants what I have. No one's motivated. Well, first of all, let me ask you a couple questions. Number 1, are you trying to go from never doing a deal to doing 5 a month? Okay, grow up, get real. Okay, do your first deal and then your second one and then your third one, and then use the systems and the momentum to get yourself launched into doing 5 a month. 5 a month will be nearly full time for you if you are a solopreneur. I can tell you that from my experience, okay? Because there's a lot that goes into not only acquiring the property deal, but disposing the property deal or selling the property deal off. And so you need to start where you are, and where you are is right now at square one. And so get your first property deal. How do you do that? You start getting rid of the old gobbledygook that nobody wants what I got, and you set it in your mind that I'm going to get a deal. Okay, I'm going to find some motivated seller. The problem that we have, though, is that when you find a motivated seller, you don't know what to say. You don't know what questions to ask. You don't know how to fill out the agreement. You can't send a written offer. And then when you follow up with a written offer, you don't know how to answer their stalls and their objections and their questions. I'm preaching to the choir, I know, because everybody that watches this show is super talented at all of those things, I'm sure. All right, so the first step is just getting your mindset right, and then using some of this automation to get leads. The second step is to pre-qualify them, because it's automation. A lot of it in this day and age, you can do this a lot over Messenger. That's right. You can do a lot of this over Messenger. Here's what pre-qualification looks like if you're doing lease options, and I'll show you right now. It looks like this. Are you open to something creative? Are you flexible enough to think about and talk about leasing the property for 24, 36 months and selling it to us during that time frame? Oh, you are? Great. Number 2, are you the owner? Are we talking to the person that's the owner? Are there any other owners, or are you the decision maker? Oh, you are? Great. Number 3, is the property listed on the MLS? Okay. In other words, do you have a marketing agreement? Do you have some kind of listing arrangement signed and dated with a realtor? Are you just a for sale by owner, or are you listing this? Is it already for sale by some hardworking realtor? God bless them all. They're starving to death, some of them. Number 4, when is it vacant and ready to be moved into? Now, this is a loaded question, because if the person tells you, oh, yes, it's vacant, then you might want to follow up with this question. Great, it's vacant. That sounds wonderful. We can get started right away then. Do you have 2 house payments? Uh-oh, we're getting in deep now. See, we're starting to find indicators of motivation. When is it vacant and ready? If they say, oh, well, we're living here, but we're not prepared to move it's June 9th, but we're not prepared to move until August because we want to move right before school starts again. Well, this person's not all that motivated then, are they? You get a lot of information from question number 4. Question number 5, what is the monthly payment that you would require? What is your monthly nut on this house? In other words, if I were to rent the house from you for 24 or 36 months, what would it cost me every month to send you a payment that would cover your payment, your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance? We call that the PITI. What a pity. Okay. The principal, the interest, the taxes, the insurance. And then you might follow that up with, is there a homeowners association? Are there any other fees that need to be paid monthly or yearly even that need to be calculated in to what it costs to rent this property from you for 24 or 36 months and purchase it during that time frame? Do you hear how smooth I am and confident I am when I'm asking these questions? You want to know the reason why? Because I've got this formula right here and I've said it 1,000 times. All right. I didn't give up after I called 2 or 3 people and they didn't say yes to everything and just lay down and say, come get my stuff. All right. I'm just saying, that's how some people are. All right. Now, if we were to rent the property at that amount for 24 or 36 months and purchase it during that time frame, what is the purchase price that you would have to have? Oh, really? Okay, great. And I write that down. This is pre-qualification. I'm not trying to close anybody. Remember, this is step 2 or 3 out of a 5-step process. So I'm just gathering information because I want to know how to send a written offer to this person. Even if I want to send a written offer, I might not want to send a written offer to them because they might not be motivated enough and they might be crazy. Or maybe I'm crazy. All right, so purchase price. What would it take, Mr. Homeowner, if we were to rent the property for 24 or 36 months and purchase it during that time frame? The purchase price that you have on Zillow for $375,000, is that going to do us? Okay, sir. Could you do any better? Okay, I'm going to write that down. I'm not trying to close anybody. I'm just pre-qualifying them, remember? Now, number 7, I'm going to say something like this. Email for our written offer. I'm going to say, Mr. Homeowner, let me ask you a question. The objective of my call today here is to gather some information and to send you a written offer so that we can actually discuss something real between you and I. What is your email so I can send you my written offer tonight? You see how easy that is? All right, number 7. That's number 7. Number 8, we're going to talk about this next. We're going to say, okay, sir, if I send you my written offer tonight, is the same time tomorrow a good time for me to call you so that we can discuss my written offer? Because I'm certain there are some things in it that will need to change. I'm certain that you'll have questions. There'll probably be some things in there that you don't like and maybe some things that you do. And so if I call you tomorrow at this time and I'm able to make it fit, great. And if I'm not, it's still okay to tell me no. Is that fair if I call you tomorrow at the same time? Will that have given you enough time to discuss and think and review and formulate your questions so that we can have a real discussion tomorrow at this time? Okay. Not too hard to do steps 2 and 3. Okay. Now you can see that all of that is going to be over text. Some of it could be, which is step 2, but some of it's going to be step 3. Okay. So we're going to make sure that we get on the phone and we do a pre-qualification call. And on that call, we're definitely going to find out the answers to those 8 questions. All right. Now, let me tell you, just from my experience, this is, like I said, this is not a closing call. This is a pre-qualification call. It should take you no more than 3 to 5 minutes. If you are spending 20 to 25 minutes listening to all the updates that they made and how they mow the yard and what the countertops are and what the hot tub in the bathroom does and all of the things that they want to talk about, you will never make any money. You will get discouraged. You will be tired. You will be worn out, and you will only call 2 or 3 leads before giving up. You have to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pre-qualification questions, and you have to keep the movement going and get your information. Oh, sir, he's going to interrupt you with questions. He's going to say, oh, well, how does this work? Or, oh, hey, what happens if this and such? Or you're talking about leasing the property and purchase it during that time frame. Well, what happens if blah, blah, blah? And what if, let's say, perhaps this and such happens and blah, blah, blah. What I want you to say is, sir, those are all great questions. What might make more sense is if I get my information from you that I need so that I can put together my written offer and send it to you tonight. And then tomorrow when we talk on the phone about the written offer, I'm sure my written offer will, one, answer some of these questions that you have, and two, it will allow you to see the complete picture of what we're talking about. Really, honestly, Mr. Homeowner, there's nothing serious we can discuss until I send you my written offer. So what is your email? Is it okay if I finish asking you a few questions so that I can send you my written offer tonight? What's your email? All right, not that complicated, not that complicated. You got to practice it a little bit, and I've practiced it. That's why I'm good at it. See, my coaching students, I practice with them. I want you to practice this. The problem that I have with coaching students is they don't want to do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They want me to teach them step 1, and then they want to jump to step 5, and that's not how it works. It never has, nor will it ever. Another problem I have with some of my coaching students, not all, a lot of them are great. Some of my coaching students, they are in a hurry to make money like they need oxygen. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you need oxygen, if you need money like you need oxygen, you need to get a job. Because this is going to take you time. This is a $1 million skill. And if you're not willing to put time in to develop oneself, then you will never be a millionaire. Okay? You will never accomplish your goals unless you are willing to do a lot of self-development, especially when it comes to the realm of making pre-qualification calls, finding out what you need to know, and then in step 4, sending a written offer. Okay? And I know I've got I see some other gurus out there, and they're friends of mine and all that and what all. And some of them will tell you, well, you don't really need to learn any of that. You just need to use my automation, or I've got a program that'll do all of this for you, and it'll calculate all the numbers for you and everything, and it'll fill out the agreement for you and everything. And I'm here to tell you that if that guy and his automation provides all of those services for you, and you never learn how to do this for yourself, then he owns your business. You don't own your business. You don't even have a clue how it works. So I made a decision back in 2014 that I was going to put the time in to learn how to do this properly, and I was going to prove the coaches and the gurus that they were wrong, or I was going to prove that they were right. And I can tell you, I found that a lot of them are wrong. Some of them are right. Okay? So what I recommend is that you put your head down, stop counting your beans for 5 seconds, and learn steps 2 and 3 and how to get it done in 5 minutes. Remember, I said step 1 is automated a lot nowadays. You don't have to work quite so hard on automation. Okay, it's that you can definitely automate. But steps 2 and 3, automating it is very difficult. I don't care what AI program you have. I don't care how intelligent it is or how much it's growing. There's nothing that gets pre-qualification of a motivated seller lead done like you will when you know how to do step 2 and 3 for yourself. I've got some students that want a virtual assistant to do step 2 and 3, and I think that's just fine and dandy. But I think you need to learn it too. I think you need to learn it too, because after all, that virtual assistant might be here today and gone tomorrow. That's what virtual assistants do. I mean, by golly, you're only paying them $5 an hour or something. Okay, so you got to learn how to ask the questions to get the information that you need so that you can send a written offer. There's no sense in getting into a deep conversation with any homeowner until you've at least gathered enough information to send them a written offer. Like I said, when they interrupt you and they pound you on that first call and they say, well, how about this? Or does this work? Or who are you? Or how long you been doing this? Or what's your website? Or blah, blah. It doesn't matter what they say. All those are great questions, Mr. Homeowner. What I'm here to do today is I'm here to ask you some questions and find out the answers so that I can send you a written offer tonight. And when I send you a written offer tonight, what's your email? Okay, great. So when I send you a written offer tonight, can I call you this time tomorrow and we can discuss all the things that may need to change to make it fit for you, or the things that you maybe don't like, or the things that you do like? Maybe perhaps you will have a lot more questions, or maybe it will answer some of your questions, but at least we'll have something solid to discuss when I call you tomorrow night. Can I send you my written offer tonight? What's your email? And can I call you tomorrow at the same exact time? Okay, now that is steps 1, 2, and 3. And step 4 is filling out the agreement or the written offer, because a written offer is filling out the agreement. Okay, now we can talk about sending a written offer means just sending an email. That's what some people think. Well, I sent him an email and I put in there what I thought we would offer him. Okay, did you fill out the agreement? I want you to get so comfortable with filling out agreements that you can send an agreement that's ready for signatures. Okay, you might be surprised and they might sign it right off the bat. You might be surprised and find out that they do want to wait till step 5 when they talk to you tomorrow. And you have to answer some questions and some objections, maybe some stalls. Okay, I get all of that too. All of that happens. All of that makes a lot of sense. We do most of our work in number 5. Because remember, steps 2 and 3 are a 3 to 5 minute conversation. Step 4, once you've filled out the agreement a few times, it's easy as pie and it don't take but just a few minutes. Then you send a nice email. And then tomorrow you have your follow-up call, which is step number 5. And if you're one of my students, what I've always said is I love to be on the step number 5 phone call. Why? Because I'm pretty good, y'all. I'm pretty good. Okay. I'm pretty good at answering all of their questions and all of their stalls and all of their objections. And in fact, I got a live seller call I'd like to play tonight, but I'm afraid you won't be able to hear the audio because this is the first time I've tried this. So let me see if I can actually do that just for a few minutes, and then we'll test it. And if I can, then we'll do more live seller calls on other shows. Okay. So let's try doing that. Wait a minute. Can't even find it now. All right. See, that's the problem that I have, is I'm not that familiar with how to get the sound to play. Okay. So let's just forget that. If you do want a live seller call example, just send me a message. Okay. Because I would be more than happy to send you a live seller call audio so that you can hear what it's like when I talk to a homeowner in step number 5 and answer all of their questions, all of their objections, and all of their problems. Okay. The reason why I'm so good at that is because I guarantee you there's only 6 or 8 questions that all of them ask, and some of them forget to even ask some of those. So once you've learned 6 or 8 of those questions, and by the way, I have a sheet for that also. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Yep, it's right here, and I'll share this with you. Look, I'll just share with you what some of these questions are. All right, and you'll see. Here are a few questions that get asked by homeowners. Can you break down how this lease option thing works? I never answer this question in step number 3. I answer it in step number 5. All right. What are the costs involved for the seller? How long do I need to be willing to lease? When can I start collecting the rent? What if the tenant causes damage? What paperwork do I need to deal with? What if the tenant buyer doesn't close the deal and buy the house? Do I get any money if they buy? Will I be responsible for repairs? Could you provide details about your tenant screening process? How do I know the people that you're going to place in the home are worthy of being in my home? All right, tenant buyer's commitment. How do you ensure the tenant buyer is genuinely committed to purchasing the property? Yeah. Maintenance responsibilities. What are the specific maintenance responsibilities? What about my down payment? What about my upfront deposit? Let's talk about that. What legal protections do I have as a seller if this thing goes south? Financial viability. How do you assess that this tenant buyer is able to pay the payments? The lease agreement details. Do you have a sample of a lease agreement? Contingency plans, time frame, timeline. My house is furnished or it's unfurnished. The monthly rent. I want the first and last month's rent. That's a stupid question. I never tell the homeowner that's a stupid question, but it is. This is a lease purchase. They're going to get some money up front in their pocket. They're going to get the first month's rent, typically, and they also want to put on a last month's rent. Well, hopefully there won't be a last month's rent because this tenant wants to buy the property while they're renting it. Okay, so look at what I say. I say, sir, it is. I say some other things, but then I follow it up with this. It is possible to heap fees and deposits on top of deposits until this deal becomes so expensive and unattractive that no one will want to do it. Okay, you got to think about this, right? Why would we have a last month's rent? Are we planning to fail here? No, we're not. All right, so we skipped that, and then there's more, but it's not a lot more. See, that's not a lot, and once you familiarize yourself with the answers to those questions, and I've got them right here. I forgot to put them on the screen. I've got a cheat sheet for my students. You can see it's just a couple, 2 or 3 pages. All right. There you go. You get the answers to those questions put in your head. Here's another problem I have with students, and I'm not picking on students, but I am kind of picking on students. The problem that I have with some students is they get a cheat sheet like this and they kind of look over it, but they don't really even read it really. But I don't want you to read it. I want you to read it, and I want you to reread it, and I want you to reread it, and I want you to reread it, and then I want you to reread it until it becomes in your brain. So when someone asks you these questions, you kind of already know what the answers are. So you're not, when you want to and you try to and you can't and you sort of and you kind of when you want to and you don't, but you kind of, no, forget all that noise. You don't want any of that. Okay, so there's a cheat sheet there to do step number 5. All right, step number 5. So that's what the process is for getting deals. And if you're a student of mine already, you will discover that in step number 5, we are here. If you make several of these calls with me, you'll discover that there are the same questions over and over and over. Each homeowner has about the same questions. Okay, so what you do is you learn the answers so that you can be a good service to the homeowner and provide them with adequate information so that they want to sign your agreement. That is the point of the whole kit, kat, and caboodle, okay? Right? Kit Kat and caboodle. I don't know what that means or where that came from, but I certainly like Kit Kat. Let's talk about leads here. All right, leads. I've got 7 right now. If you want to buy for sale by owner data scrapes, I've got a deal on my website at justinchamness.com or realestateWholeSalersClub.com, whichever you want to go to. And you can get 7,500 for sale by owner scrapes for $49. It's crazy ridiculous. I don't think you'll find it cheaper anywhere else. Also, I'm coming out with I'm going to start promoting a version of, it's not REI Reply, but it's the same go high level stuff. And instead of 99, it's going to be 82. And in fact, I'm thinking about trying to negotiate with them to get it down to somewhere like $60 something a month for the whole shooting match. Okay. But right now I've got them down to $82 a month, and it's got all of my workflows on it. It's got everything you need to start doing step 1. Okay. You're still going to need an LLC and an EIN number, but besides that, that's all you're going to need to get this launched. Okay. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming out this week. I'm very excited about that. All right. Very excited about that. Why am I excited about that? Because I'm not going to make much money off of that whatsoever. Okay. But what I am going to do is I'm going to be able to empower you to use automation to create leads for yourself so that you can go in here and you can screw up step number 2 and 3 until you learn how to do it great. Okay. That's all part of it, people. See, we think we got to be great at something right off the bat, but we don't. In fact, the people that are the best at doing what they do usually started out being horrible at it. And we don't want that, okay? We don't want that at all. We want to keep getting better and better and better. We got to do self-development, okay? Got to do self-development. All right. In order to help, I also have creative real estate transactioneer flashcards. This is one of the most popular products I have ever come out with. If you are looking to learn to master all of the questions and objections that homeowners will ask, not only for lease options, but for subject to, for wraparounds, for subject to carryback with a carryback, a seller carryback, that means you're taking the property over subject to the existing mortgage, and you're also making a payment for equity to the homeowner. We talk about that in my transaction engineer course, my basics creative real estate transaction engineer course. It's $99 at my website to get the course and everything. I have flashcards that complement that entire training, and they will teach you every question that I've ever heard. Some I haven't heard, but other people have heard, and I stole the answers from them. All right, because I'm really good at that too. Okay, I'm really good at stealing great ideas from other people. Hey, you know what? I told a guy this week. He's a student of mine. I love him. He's awesome. I said, you know what? There is nothing new under the sun, man. Nothing, baby. Nothing, baby. Somebody's already been asked. Somebody's already been answered. You might as well take what they got and make it yours. All right. That's right. That's right. Okay. So before we go here, and I appreciate you being with me tonight, let's talk about the one-on-one mentoring offer that I have right now, because I'm a patriot. I hope you are a patriot. I hope you love this country. I hope you love America. I hope you love the idea that you can make a fortune and you can screw it up and lose it all. And if you work pretty hard and you're kind of smart and with just a smidgen of luck, you can get it all back times 10. And you can find the love of your life along the way. Yeah. Why do I say that? Because that's my story. I struggled and struggled and struggled until I found someone who could give me the confidence. Now, they didn't give me the work ethic, okay? I want to be clear about this. They did not give me the consistency of showing up. They didn't give me the consistency of being dedicated to my craft, okay? If you're thinking this is a way to pop some money fast, then you're fooling yourself, because you need, if you're going to be successful, be committed to your craft, dedicated to the skill development, okay? It's the skills that pay the bills. I got that off of a commercial. I stole that too. Okay, so that was a commercial for some kind of community college. All right, but the principle is strong, okay? I'm offering for folks that are patriots, all right? If you're 50 years old and over, that's just about a lot of people that watch my channel. I love my audience. I'm glad that you guys are getting something out of this. If you're a former or active fire, police, EMS, if you're a current realtor or were a realtor, I'm going to throw that in there tonight too. All right. Also, if you're a veteran or active service military even would be okay with me. but let's talk about it, because I want to make sure that I lower the financial bar for you to be able to get into my program in a way that makes it where you don't have to take the macaroni and cheese off your table. You don't have to tell your family, hey, I don't know if we're going to have Christmas presents this year because I spent it all on Justin. That's not going to happen. Okay. There's only one or two or three reasons that I've thought of why you would not want to be in my mentoring program. Number one, you don't believe you can do it. That's a personal problem. And you're never going to go anywhere in real estate as long as you believe that it never works for you, and that you can't, and that they always say no to you, and you can't find anyone, and all this negative garbage. Number one, you don't believe you can do it. Number two, you don't believe that I can do it. Maybe you do believe I can do it because you watch this show. The third reason why you wouldn't want to be in my mentoring program, and the only reasons of these are the only three reasons why you wouldn't want to be in my mentoring program, because I'm lowering the financial bar where you can get in, is if you don't believe that I can teach you how to do this. Okay. And I assure you, I can teach you how to do this if you bring your work ethic and your commitment level to the dedication to doing what I say. In other words, let me just put it in plain English. If you know how to listen and follow directions, you can do what I'm telling you. If you do not listen and follow directions, then I got very little for you. Okay. When I was in elementary school, we used to get grades, and it would be A, B, C, D, F. I don't know what happened to E, but they left it out somewhere. I wish that I had gotten an E a few times when it said F. And I'm like, it's unfair that they skipped the letter E. What's wrong with E? Okay. But in addition to that, they would have things like talks too much in class, doesn't complete assignments on time, doesn't listen and follow directions. And I can tell you, those marks that they used to include on a grade card were probably more important than the actual letter grade A, B, C, D, or F, because they would tell you why you got an A, B, C, D, or F. Now, they stopped doing that in the American public education system, and you can see that it's actually had a detrimental effect on the student's ability to, one, stop running their mouth in class, number two, to complete assignments on time. Oh my gosh. And number three, to just listen and follow directions, not deviate from the instructions, not add to, not take away, just do. If you can do exactly what I tell you, and I try to do it in crystal clear terms, then you'll have the same results. It's only a matter of physical science. Okay. That if you do exactly what I say in the way that I say do it, then you'll have the same results. That's how science is. Okay. We've run this experiment 1,000 times. Actually, I've run this experiment almost 450 times with 450 different students. And in every case, the students that listen and follow directions and show up on a consistent basis find success. The ones that do not, they do not. So I'm lowering the bar for you. If you feel like you can get in there and listen and follow directions, I will take you far. If you do not bring your work commitment, your ethics to get things done, and you hem-haw around and you make excuses and you put things off, and if you're a chronic procrastinator, then I guess you have the result that you want. Okay? That's all I can say about that. Okay? If you don't like the result you have, then you're going to have to change your results somewhere by changing the activity that you are doing or the pace at which you're doing such. Okay. So that is the 50 and over special offer. All right. So let me go ahead and pop that back up on the screen, and we will give you a chance to find me over at justinchamness.com. Go to the menu and just book a call, or slide down and book a call, because I want to talk to you, and let's make this fit and let's get started. What are you waiting on? There's no reason to wait. Okay? You know, if you keep waiting and you keep waiting, you're always going to be waiting. And let me tell you, if you bring a different attitude than the one I just expressed to you to any endeavor, you're just going to have what you have now. You're just playing around. You know what? And that's okay for some of you. Some of you like that. Some of you just are continual learners. You just love to learn. God bless you for that. I don't have that luxury, because I have a wife, and I have I have kids, and I have goals, and I have vacations I want to take. Okay? I have responsibilities I need to meet. You know what one of my goals is I want to be able to provide for 100 orphans. All right? I want to provide for 100 orphans. What do you mean provide for 100? I want to make sure that 100 orphans out there have the food and the clothes and the things they need to go to get an education. I want to personally provide that. It means something to me. It's motivating enough for me to remember I have to show up. I have to follow the instructions. I have to formulate the recipe just the way that it's put on the box. If I want cookies and I want that sweet cake, that sweet cake. Oh yes, that sounds good. I'm on this strict ass diet and it's just horrible, but I want I want that sweet cake. I love you guys. Sorry I preached at you a lot tonight. I'm going to let you go. This has been another episode of the Midnight Mentor Smokes a Cigar and Yells at You. Hey, love America, would you? Love America. Not because it deserves love, but because it's your home. And I'll see you again next week. God bless.